everybody. Hey, listen, look. It wouldn't be one of our shows if we didn't immediately start with our mics muted. But hello, everybody, and welcome back to twitch.tv/follow Black Hats. It has been what feels like an eternity since we were all gathered here in stream and in Westeros, but we are back and we are here to cause some trouble, maybe? Who... You can see with me assembled a wonderful cast and crew, and someone new, a new victim has joined the cast. You've seen him in chat. You've heard of his schemes. You've heard us all curse his name many a time in play and in the chat. But hello, James. Welcome.
I am filled with joy, expectation, and trepidation about all of this. I was hoping that the revenge would just be solely focused on Sam, but everybody knows that I helped out, so I'm going to get my ass handed to me, I'm sure. It's going to be great.
How you doing? How's things?
Good, very good, very good. We just finished off doing some Curse Captains, taking a break from that this evening from all the writing. That's going really well. We're almost there. We've got like 1-2 more chapters to do of various different bits and pieces. The art's going really well. I'm really getting excited about it. We've got the dice looking good in terms of how we're doing them. So yeah, I'm pretty jazzed for all of it, to be honest. But yeah, I thought let's take a pause on doing the fun, great, cool stuff and come get beaten up by all my close mates.
So can you just briefly tell us a little bit, not a lot, just a little taste of who you're playing?
Sure. So my character is called Mir Undegian, who is the maester of the house. I'm sure we'll hear more about the house as we get into it. He has been around for a while. He is weirdly one of the older characters in his early 30s. Makes him one of the older characters of the house, and arguably a stabilizing element, question mark. We'll see how that comes about. He knows the house mum, kind of works for the house mum, and while the house mum is not necessarily there all the time, which I'm sure we'll hear more about, technically works for the two house ladies, I suppose. We'll have to see how that goes as well. But yeah, he's the maester, so he does all the potions, and he's got cinnamon, which is one of the things I found you can have. You can have cinnamon, so he's just got 2 pounds of cinnamon, because why not?
I love it.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I'm
Pumpkin
sure
spice lattes for everybody.
I literally can do that. I can do that.
it's PSL season, baby. We're in it. All right. Okay. Thank you, James. I'm looking forward to meeting Mir and destroying his life. Speaking of someone whom I love dearly and cannot wait to torture emotionally, psychologically, any other way. Hi, Sam. You all right?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's weird to be sat here in a Game of Thrones stream and not where you are.
It's novel to be sat here. I didn't think about it all day. I wasn't bricking it about 10 minutes ago. It's great. You get to have all those emotions now.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see, I moved.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my house, and it's actually my house now. So I'm very happy about that.
Oh yeah, she's a homeowner.
Yeah, she is. So yeah, I come to you from my lovely new office. But I may move this around at some point because I'm not too happy about like sitting just here. So I may join the green screen crew at some point.
Good, because I made this lovely background and no one can see it. So come on, people.
No, sorry. So I felt about the last background because, like, basically where all the interesting places were covered by people's faces. But it looks lovely. From what I can see, it looks lovely.
Thank you. Your challenge, Sam, is to be in a different position every time you're on. So every game you're on, be somewhere else in your house.
Okay.
Also, Sam, can you keep an eye on the dice for me? Because I don't have access to the little pop out for the alerts. So you will be
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
charge of dices.
Yeah.
Thank you. But can you also tell us a little bit about your character?
Yes, I can. She is Wayrinia, otherwise known as Wyn. And as a child, she was one of the migrants that came over with the Royna fleet. So she is a Royna girl, and she's just here for adventure and opportunity. Yep.
And a good old time.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. You might want to try that line again some other time. Not that convincing the first time, right?
Sorry, I'll work on it and I'll give it a second
Workshop
reading at
it.
some point in the future.
Cheers, cheers. Somebody who I adore and haven't had chance. I don't think I've ever GM'd for you, Millie, have I?
I don't think so. You might have done a one shot. Did we do a one shot during that Christmassy?
I don't think
Right,
so.
Oh, well, yay.
Well, here you go.
You
Hi,
hurt
Millie.
me.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, right.
That's it. That's my whole intro. Hurt me. Done.
That'll be 50 quid, please. Give you my
Oh,
PayPal.
fuck. I'm paying you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I fucking don't do this
This
for
is different to
free.
last time.
Yeah. Funny that.
Oh, this should be fun.
Sam, that was a perfectly timed sub command. I just want you to know. Thank you so much. All right, Millie, let's move swiftly on.
Yes.
How you doing? How's things since we've last seen you?
I'm doing good. I am working. God, you can hear the NDAs again. I am working on a lot of things I can't talk about yet, but hopefully in the next couple of months I might be able to talk about some of it, and it's gonna be real fucking cool. So buckle up, kiddies. Yeah, I think that's about it. Just I've got a new camera. Don't know how to work it. This is a miracle that it's actually working right now, to be honest. Yeah, it's all good.
NDA's a new camera. Let's go.
Yeah, that's pretty much that's my life.
All right, so tell us a little bit about your character.
My character is Alara. She's the second daughter of this family we're going to be following in Dorne. She is a really well-behaved young lady because, you know, I played that last time and I thought that I'm not doing that again. She's a nightmare. I don't know how to sum her up. Basically, like, life's great, fuck responsibility, let's have a bit of a laugh. That's about it. She's got a whip.
Cool. Life's great. Yeah. 9 years into a war, pushed out of your homeland and, you know, fled for your lives.
Well, she's like the second daughter. Nobody's ever going to need her to be responsible for anything.
Yeah,
and we're in Dorne now. All the war's over and we're just going to have a bit of a laugh.
Don't feed Susie too early. Please. That's the kind of comment that gets made into something.
Oh, this feels good. Excellent. Well, responsibility, huh? That's what she's not into.
Ah, shit.
Okay. All right. Responsibility.
I will hide in the pleasure house. See you guys at the end of the season.
All right. Okay. All right. Duly noted. Thank you very much, Millie. Hi, Don. I'm glad to see you're still with us and not blown away in the hurricane.
Hello. No, I'm good here. It was a dicey couple of days, but I'm very excited to be back. It feels like it's been I know it hasn't been like, I don't even think it's been longer than maybe like we would normally take between seasons of our previous campaign, but it feels like a long time. I'm really excited to be back.
Hell yeah, it does. So what have you been up to since we've been off?
Oh, so I finished a great big Fallout campaign book that I'm sure you'll hear more about coming up here in the future. That was a major project for me this summer. And I have started working on a Dragonlance adventure because Wizard of the Coast is releasing Dragonlance as a campaign setting later this year. and I thought that I would do a little something for that since I love the setting so much. So I've been working on that. Mostly, I've just been running. I full-time running games for people. I have 6 campaigns right now. I just started a couple of Star Wars campaigns, game system that I designed myself. So I'm really excited about that. So I've been busy, but it's been
Dang.
fun.
Oh, damn. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your character?
Sure, yeah. So I am playing Tibalto Sand, and Tibalto is sort of a local legend, at least he thinks he is. He frequents the taverns, he's well known there. He is the house's animal trainer. He's very, very good with animals. He helps to take care of the sand steeds and to teach riding and things like that. You can see him going frequently for swims along the shore. He's big into the ocean, and he is a completely trustworthy person.
Yes.
Yes.
Susie, I'm new to this. Where is the X to doubt button on my keyboard?
So you just want to, basically what you want to do is you want to open up a DM and just scream, no, God, no. Dear God, no.
What do I have
Right.
to roll to detect bullshit? Because I think I've got 7 in that.
Listen, I can't wait for Don's character to be the most trustworthy, honest, straightforward one out of the fucking lot of you.
That's
We just
what I just
project
told
our
you.
issues onto him for the entire show.
Yeah. You won't have done a damn thing wrong, but you lot to be so paranoid that this poor fucker will be hung and quartered in a week.
That is kind of my style.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah.
Classic. Speaking of a classic. Hi, Tom.
Oh,
That was
so
actually
sweet.
pretty nice. Yeah.
That was very sweet. That was a good transition and very sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
I'm
you know,
used to it.
suspicious now.
I got my moments.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, okay, I'm tired.
Oh.
But apart from that, I'm fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been putting in new beds, which requires lifting up grass turf. You have to use like a. It's just gonna be so boring. You gotta use a turfing iron, which is like those things that you stick pizzas in the ovens, like thing. It's like
Uh-huh.
that, but for grass, and it's not as simple because you're cutting through the fibers of the grass.
Right.
It's really, really friggin' like. So I'm tired. Yeah.
Really intensive,
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah. I don't have a back anymore.
Oh,
The lower back's gone.
rest in peace.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
unfortunate.
that's about it. Yeah, that's about it, really. Yeah, nothing too much more.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh God, I'm zooming all. Oh, OBS is having a moment. All right.
OBS having a wobble.
OBS is she's doing things. Just give me a second. There we go. Fucking hell, Christ
Yeah,
Almighty.
yeah.
Whoa. We're good. Don't worry about it. Nobody's stressed. Technical issues, don't know her. All right. Tell us about your guy who's definitely not named after a font.
Yeah, so this guy who's definitely not named after a font is called Garamond.
Uh-huh.
And he is I should say, I think it's Sir Garamond. I think they had knights at this time. We're
Yeah,
saying they
he's
had
a
knights
sir.
at this time.
Yeah.
So he was Sir Garamond. He is a knight, who is a knight of the house. He's been with the house. Well, he's been with the family of the house for about, I think we said 8 years, something like that. 8 years. And he's grown to, quite attached to them. He's somewhat of a head of guard, kind of bodyguard kind of character. He looks after the family whenever he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But where's he from?
He is from the Vale.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah.
We love the Vale.
He's an outsider for sure.
All right. Okay. So, the other thing, V will be joining us in a little bit. She's just running a little bit late. So what will happen was when V gets here, we'll go to a little be right back screen. We'll get her in, and then we'll find out a little bit about V and how we can destroy her life too. But for the time being, I suppose we should start this thing, right? It's like it's about time. Okay. Our scene begins our show begins. Our story even begins with a small stage, roughly made in nature, with shoddily dyed fabrics hanging for sort of like stage curtains. And descending on small wires, you see puppets. Shoddily again, made in nature of straw and wood, bits of fabric here and there. And they dance around. You see about 10 or so peasant-looking folks, besides a wobbling bit of fabric to represent a river. As you hear a puppet master somewhere behind the curtain say, "Not too long ago, in a land not too far away, a people lived peacefully beside a river. She fed them, she bathed them, she protected them, but she could not protect them from the eyes of the dragon." And as he says that, a swooping puppet of a dragon comes in and fabric flares out of its mouth to depict dragon fire. And a couple of other puppet masters behind the curtains start screaming and, calling out, "Fire, dragon," and general calls of alarm. A crowd of children sat in front of the stage, all gasp and shriek, and some adults who are watching along are quiet as they hear this story. There's a very sort of dour look across their faces. The puppet master continues. "They fled in their boats, whatever boats they could muster, fishing vessels, warships, rafts, pieces of wood. They did what they could and they fled." And again, the scene changes, the dragons disappear, and you see these puppets of boats scatter. The voices are calling out. You're hearing shouts and cries. Across the world they fled. From island to island, they tried to find a home. And you see scenes of arriving at shore and being chased away by soldiers. You see one where they arrive on a beautiful island and everything seems happy and great for a while before the puppets start dying of disease. Green puppets dropped unceremoniously. At this, some children shriek. And again, there's a couple of adults whose expressions are less than happy right now. Some even seem to be quite angry as they're seeing this story being told. But one day, our beautiful princess, and again, you see this puppet of this wonderful woman. She's clad in gold and flowing fabrics. In her hand, she holds a spear, and the other arm a shield. She stands defiant and proud in the center of the stage. "Led us to a land of sand and rock. And here," she declared, "to be our home." And you see played out the scene of Nymeria arriving in the shores of Dorne, of her standing there declaring that this will be their new home. A couple more scenes play out as you see Mors Martell, at this point a petty king, coming to Nymeria. He bends a knee to her and declares his love for her. At this, children again are enamored by this story. They cheer, they clap. There's a scene of a royal wedding of spectacle. There's paper streamers and confetti thrown out at the children as this story plays out. Our princess. And again, she stands forward. Has found our home. Our princess has fought for our home. And you see scenes of warfare begin to happen, of these shoddily clad Dornish warriors clashing with these shining Rhoynar warriors. Something that you would know is, it's not quite how it goes. Rhoynar, sure, you have better forged steel and better weapons, but not quite the golden warriors that are being depicted in this show, in this puppet show. And there's more war, there's more warfare, there's shouting, there's crying, from these puppet masters. These kids are eating it up. Some kids are stood right up close to it, basically faces in the stage. A parent comes by, grabs the kid by the scruff of the neck, sits him back down. Before it grows dark, and there is a scene of a warrior on his last knees, fighting defiantly, his body full of spears and arrows, and he lets out a war cry as he kills a couple more enemies before he collapses to the ground. The puppet master's voice is quiet and sad as he says, "Sadly, our princess has lost her husband. Our land has lost its prince. But we will not give up hope. We will not fail. This is our home. This is our land. And you," the puppet master, he brings forth the Nymeria puppet at this and has the puppet gesture to the children, "are our future. You will be the ones to carry on our names. And for this, our princess thanks you." And the puppet gives a bow, and the puppet blows a kiss to the children. The children are enamored. And there's some people in the audience, some of the adults, whose faces are that of anger, that of fury, and then you can hear a couple of quiet whispers amongst each other. And you see a puppet master's head appear from behind the curtain, and he clocks the scene, and the curtains close in front of the stage. As one of these adults, the temperature, the mood is now, with the adults, less than stellar. And there's rattlings and rumblings and talking, and voices are raised. And the children are sort of still kind of like chatting amongst themselves, having a great time. They don't hear what's going on. They haven't picked up on it just yet. But the puppet master says behind the curtain, "All right, children, that was it. Thank you. Goodbye." And they start to hastily pack up the puppet gear before we see them make a hasty retreat. As children are collected, and the adults begin to disperse. At Stormwhale Hall, it is early morning. The sun has just risen. And a voice is heard down the corridor. "Alara! Alara! Where are you, Alara?" And Alara, you hear in your bedchamber, you hear the voice of your mother echoing down the hall. It is very, very early.
Just pull the pillow over my face and burrow down into these covers, trying to look as much like bed sheets as possible.
You hear her call out your name a couple more times before your door slams open, and a beam of light just, you got like an eye peeking out of the covers. It just hits you square in the eye. Alara?
Yes.
Why, are you still abed?
Why is it still not even daytime?
She comes over, she pulls the blanket off of you. "You are too old to be acting like this, Alara. Come on, up." And she grabs your wrist and starts pulling you out of bed.
I'll let her, but I'm not going to make that easy for her. Just kind of struggling against it, and then grab some fruit as I go and be eating that as she pulls me along.
She's tutting and muttering as she drags you to your feet, and she says, "You're far too old for me to dress you, Alara."
Well, then don't dress me.
And she gives you a look. She gives you like, "Don't fucking test me" look.
Did I forget about some kind of appointment or what?
She pinches the bridge of her nose. It is the day of the festival, Alara. The festival to honor our house, your father, your brother.
I'm aware of the festival. I didn't realize I had to be up so early.
Who do you think? Who do you think, Alara, is going to run this event? Who do you think I need stood beside me all day, Alara?
I don't know, my sister?
I would love to know where she is.
So would I. Maybe you should go and find her.
She slaps you.
Oh. All right. Not a day for jokes, okay?
No, not a day for jokes. Get yourself dressed. I'll see you in the hall.
Blue or red?
Blue.
I'll just start getting changed and looking in a reflection on something, just like, I'm gonna have to cover that.
Yeah, I mean, she's not, it wasn't like a full-on, like, a whole weight
Yeah.
behind it, but enough to be like, all right, fucking rein
In
it
that
in.
case, I'll slap myself on the other cheek and even it up.
It's blusher. Shows doing you.
Yeah.
And you see your mother, and you start to see her now as the haze of sleep has sort of gone from your eyes. She's a woman in her middle years. Her dark brown hair is starting to grey at the temples. It's pulled behind in a long braid, which is secured with just a very simple sort of rope at the bottom. And she's already dressed in everything that she would be wearing for this festival. So she's wearing a very finely made, almost sort of like a sash across her shoulder, which covers her body with her dress underneath, which is tied to her waist with a rope, which you would know to be, because she's mentioned it quite a lot, a rope that she saved from the vessel that you came here with, sorry. She had that fashioned into a belt that she wears around her dress. Her dress is in a lovely sort of cerulean blue with like a gold trim to it. And you hear the clank of her bracelets as she pauses at the door. If you see your sister, tell her I want to speak to her.
Absolutely. I'll finish getting my dress on and kind of giving her a slightly strange look. Why this dress?
This one?
No, this dress. Why? It's a festival.
Mm-hmm.
Who's coming?
It's for the people of Ghost Hill. But I did send out some invitations to local families.
Mm-hmm.
What?
But you have intentions for her or me?
For you, for Nyla, for Benu, for all of you.
Oh.
At your age, I was already pregnant with your sister.
You've
was married.
never spoken of this before, ever.
Because I didn't think I needed to. I thought I would have raised you better to understand your duty and your role. Yet here we are. You and your sister drinking and whoring all hours of the day.
We make an art of it. Maybe somebody will like it.
Her eyes roll into the back of her skull, and you hear her quietly mutter, "Your father spoiled you."
What, you would have your girls wed to somebody who wants, a wilting flower? What?
No. But I would have had my girls, who saw our home be destroyed, take their lives a little more seriously. To understand what it is we're doing here. This isn't a game, Alara.
It is a festival. Festivals are for games.
And you can see her like very visibly like bite her tongue. I am not going to argue with you today. Get dressed, meet me in the hall, and we'll get on with our day. We'll revisit this another time.
Wonderful. I'll let her know. If I can find her.
She closes the door behind her, and then you hear her sandals like slop. She's angrily walking away. You hear the like of her
Angry
sandal.
sandals. Terrifying.
Garment. Oh, sorry. Go on, Ilara.
I think she would just listen to that flip flop down the hall and just grab a drink and another whatever she's eating, nectarine, peach, whatever, and just flop back on the bed.
Garment. You hear her first before you see her. But you are familiar with the sound of that door slamming, of the sound of those heavy footsteps, and you soon see her. You see Soraya, the mother of House Kavos, coming down the corridor. She has a look of thunder upon her face as she sees you. She is not a happy lady right now.
Okay. So Garamond will kind of stand straight up and allow her to kind of walk past him. So then he turns, so he's behind her just slightly. And he will kind of ask, so, how is she?
Alara is barely out of bed.
Punctuality was never one of her qualities.
It was not.
She'll be ready in time.
Oh, she'd better be. Speaking of, have you seen Nyla today?
No, I can't say I have. Would you like me to try and find her?
I've tasked that to her sister.
Very well. Is there anything you'd like me to do?
She pauses for a minute, and she sort of leans against a railing. We've come to a courtyard in the hall, because we love a courtyard in the middle of the hall, a dramatic courtyard. She leans on the railing and catches some of the sun in her hand, and you see her you feel the warmth with her fingers. You'd better go with Alara.
As you command, milady. Are you doing well?
I'm as well as can be expected.
It is rather stressful to do a festival.
Which part? The festival? My husband being dead, or my 3 children being delinquents who refuse to take on any responsibility or duty?
Probably all together, milady.
Yes, it's quite. Where did I go wrong, Garamond?
I do not know. I do not have any children of my own. They seem good children, my lady.
Do they?
Their heart's in the right place, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Maybe they just don't quite understand their duty just yet.
Then how do I make them understand?
For me, it was waking up and fighting in the yard at dawn, all the way up until midday. Have a quick break and then carrying on. I'm not sure it would work the same for your daughters, milady.
No. They wouldn't know what dawn is. That's their midday. Oh, God. Right, well, I have other things to do. I have to find Banu. I have to make sure he is dressed and ready. I have been corresponding with a lord in Sunspear. I may, God's be willing, have found Banu a wife.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. And well, I have to set up a couple of other things. I need to talk to Mir. I have to talk to Win and Tiboto. God.
I will not delay you any longer.
Thank you. Please go make sure Lara doesn't end up in a pillow house looking for her sister. We have only so much moon tea.
I will ensure that that she is found.
Thank you, Garamond. And she just walks off, and she's muttering to herself, you know, like with all the things she has to do, and all the chaos all around her in this house.
Garamond will kind of give a slight nod of respect as even if she goes, he goes through the actual formality of giving that, and then he'll turn and he will head towards Alara's room, in which he will give a very gentle tap of the door on a knock. Milady,
Yes.
I've been ordered by your mother to assist you in finding your sister.
Are you sure you want to do that?
I have been ordered it, milady.
Oh, well, this should be fun. She
It
comes
normally
skipping
is.
out of the door.
He'll take a step back.
So, where do you think she would be?
May I suggest we search a room first?
You are disappointing.
I apologize that I'm disappointing you, milady.
Yes, please be more interesting in future. Go
I
on then.
will do my best.
Kind of swat him on the arm and knock, knock, knock.
You
Sister.
hear nothing. There is no response, just an empty, hollow silence on the other side of the door.
Sister, knock once if you're dead.
Garamond will kind of like go in front. He'll check the door to see if it's locked.
It is
And-
unlocked.
He will unlock it and open the door for Alara and then step back to let her in.
And she'll walk in, like knowing that it's very unlikely she's in here, but making a real show of like looking under the pillows and the beds and a cup.
So you enter the room, and it looks like a bomb has gone off in here. There are blankets everywhere, cushions are everywhere. There's a spilled wine cup on the ground. You know, there's like 3 plates that are like some time old in the corner that may be
Ugh.
growing a life form. Who possibly knows? The shutters, the simple wood shutters, are closed, but beams of light are coming through. The smell in here is something.
I don't know why she gives me such a hard time. This is dreadful. At least I crack a window open.
Garamond will kind of head in, just kind of stand by the door and have a look around. Do I recognize the smell?
Yeah, so
Is
it's
it like just general? Ugh.
Roll to recognize smell.
Oh, I mean,
it's like general, but it's also, you know, like after someone's had a good night in here.
yeah. Okay, as long as it's not like a corpse or a body.
No.
or something.
No. It's absolutely like a college dorm room smell, you
Okay.
know.
He's gonna go check the. He's gonna go check the window because it's probably not the first time she's used it to internally bloody room.
Okay. Yeah, so you go over to the window and you do see that one of these shutters is slightly open. And as you get closer and inspect, you can see that there's like a trellis below this window, which has clearly seen some activity.
I think that maybe we should check the stables, milady. She might have taken her horse out.
I was going to say, I don't think stable boy is really her kind
That's
this week.
not. Yes, milady. And he'll follow and then close the door behind, and then follow again, keeping behind her at all times, but to the side.
I'll as I'm leaving, kind of notice like a piece of jewelry or something she's left out on the side, like a ring or something. Just be like, ooh, nice.
Yeah. Mine now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when a bomb's gone off, there's clothes everywhere, there's jewelry that she's just fucking thrown.
Chico's missing.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Okay, so you head down to the stables. And you can see that the whole Stormwhale Hall is a flurry of activity, even this early in the morning. What few servants you have, I mean, you're not like a great castle or anything like that, but the servants that you have are rushing around carrying, all sorts of fucking whatever it is you could imagine, food, drink, documents to and from the Solar and from Mir's chambers, everything. And they bump into you like, oh, sorry. But before long you make it down to the stables, which is a short way from, it's not actually within the keep, just slightly out of the keep, and you see a Tibalto there doing his early morning chores.
So Tibalto is thin, wiry, muscled young man, probably in mid 20s or so, maybe a little bit younger by the look of him. He's got tousled black hair, probably doesn't look like it's been washed or combed through in days. He's got a big beard that's just as messy. And he wears, probably like 3 different sets of clothes that he kind of rotates through and washes a couple of times a week. Right now, he's got on a dyed green horsehair vest over top of just a little wrap around his midsection, most of his chest bare. He's got loose fitting green tunic on. He's wearing sandals that are crunching in the hay. And he, on his left arm, has notably like a tattoo. It's not very well done, but it is colored. It's a underwater kind of tattoo of a long-tailed Dornish shark, and on his right arm, another tattoo, just as poorly done, of a sea emblazoned by the sunset that just kind of glows orange. And while Tibalto is, going about and gathering up hay, dragging it, and bundling it on top of another stack, he's just kind of mumbling words that he had heard previously in the back of his mind. They just stuck with him. He keeps saying a couple of times over and over again, across the world they fled from island to island. They tried to find a home. He grumbles and says, and this is what they found, I guess. Then, oof, another stack goes up on top of a hay bale.
Oh, hello, V. Excellent timing.
In the hay pile, we find.
Okay, right. Folks, give us a sec. I'm just going to check us onto the starting soon screen. We'll get V's camera in. We'll be right back. It's okay. Without me being muted the entire time. Hi, everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for bearing with us during that tech issue. But camera's going to be cameraing and V gonna be messing them up because we love her. Hello, V.
Hi, sorry.
It's all right. What we'll do is I'll catch up with you at the end because we were in the middle of a scene when you bamfed in. So we've just found out that Tibolto is a completely trustworthy looking hunk of a dude with some sick ink. Resume.
Oh, yeah.
Sick as in literally ill.
Mediocre ink. Yeah,
Mediocre.
He was sick for several weeks after each of the tattoos.
Okay, so Garamond will kind of start to approach. Is it Tybalto? How do you pronounce it?
Tibolto.
Tibolto, right. So Garamond will approach Tibolto and he will, excuse me, Tibolto.
And you can hear him taking a deep breath as he shoves the hay bale just so it's in line with a bale underneath of it. And he leans on the hay bale and pulls some of the hair out of his eyes and turns around and says, Sir Garamond, it is good to see you. How are you today?
I'm doing well. We are looking for Lady Nyla. Has she taken Brightmane out of the stable?
Lady Nyla, well, she is missing. Well, he kind of looks around. Has she taken her horse out of the stable?
I don't know, V, have you?
Yeah, probably. Knowing Nyla.
I have to admit, Sir Garamond, I had assumed that she would be returned by now, but I have not seen the horse or the lady this morning.
See. And he'll turn to Alara and
I'm just
know,
leaning in the entrance, still eating this
yeah,
cake
and
or
he goes,
whatever.
and he will go, what would you like to do, my lady?
I would like to go back to bed.
You have a duty to perform. You have to find your sister.
Well, that's a different question.
How will you find your sister then, my lady?
Sounds like she would be a little worse for wear. Hair of the dog, maybe. I'll
You
just
wish
smirk at him.
You wish to go into the town to find her?
Well, she would not have taken the horse otherwise, would she?
Probably not, my lady. Should I get Talbota to saddle your horse too, or should we walk?
I barely want to be on my feet, let alone walking.
As you say. Talbota, would you mind saddling Lady Alara's horse and duty for me, please?
But of course, Sir Garamond, Lady Alara, give me just a moment, please.
Thank you, Tibalto.
And he takes a big sigh and he turns and he heads to the back of the stables to start saddling her horse. And he just kind of mumbles under his breath again. And this is the home they found.
She will just brazenly watch him work while finishing a thing.
At this point,
Awful.
Garamond's probably gone off to one of the garrisons to inform them of where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
Just to inform the lady of the house that they're going, out, and
Alright.
so they know that they're gone.
Okay. And you know,
And-
you meet with a household guard that just, is like, yes, sir. Any other message for us, sir?
That both the ladies will be ready for the festival.
And the guard just gives you like a, all right, sort of look.
Yeah, Garamond kind of smirks and raises his eyebrows and then heads back. Yeah.
Alto bring the horse out, saddled and ready. And as he kind of brings it around and settles it down, he's got an apple in his hand and he feeds the horse the apple. Just a couple of bites. He takes the first bite to break the skin. He feeds the horse the inside. He looks over to Lady Alara and to Sir Garamond and says, My lady, Sir Garamond, there was a little bit of a ruckus earlier today. Some of the people were upset about a silly little puppet show. Just to let you know, tensions are high in the town, perhaps higher than normal. So keep that in mind. If you go to the tavern,
Thank you for your warning.
A
I'll be sure
puppet
to keep an
show.
eye out.
Why would they be? What?
Garamond will head towards the horse in waiting to help Alara up.
I want to
Yeah.
see this puppet show. And hops onto the horse.
I'm not sure if they will do another one. Perhaps that was the only show, although it seems a waste of the puppets. Excuse me, I should get back to my duties, my lady, Sir Garamond.
Thank you, Diabolto. And he'll go and grab his horse, Duty, and kind of saddle that up as well. Puts the kind of shield on the side because he's in full chain, gambeson and chain, and he's got his sword by his side. And he'll kind of lift himself up on the horse and go next to Alara. After you, milady.
Where do you think, what did he say, the tavern?
That might be a good place to start.
What do you think the show is about? She rides off with him.
And he kicks and follows her. I don't know, milady. I'm not really one for puppet shows.
Well, no, it didn't sound like any of them were up for this puppet show, so it must have been, what, sexual or political or
Most likely,
both?
maybe. It doesn't take much to rouse up people into a frenzy, milady.
I don't know what you mean.
And Garamond, you have been here, as you said, for quite a lot of time. But that early morning dawnish heat is really starting to hit. There is a little bit of a breeze from the coast, with Stormwhale being literally on the coast. But that heat is starting to already feel oppressive. And in your chain and Gambeson, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, it's a feeling that he's probably felt a lot. He's never gotten used to it. Never gotten used to it. He much prefers the mountain breeze, the vale, and all that. This is very oppressive for him. He doesn't like it, but he kind of stoically continues.
As they ride off, Tibolto, you see one of the other stable hands, a fellow Dornishman, a man you grew up with, someone you've known for a long time. He watches them leave, and you see him spit at the ground after where they left before he returns to his chores.
He kind of watches him go, watches them leave as well, and he hisses between his teeth. And then he shrugs his shoulder and he says, I am not paid to watch and to listen. I am paid to take care of horses and to scoop horse shit. And he turns back into the barn, but he does, for a moment, stop right at the edge of the barn. He holds his hands over his head. He rubs his eyebrows really hard, and he stays there. He stays there, probably for about a minute, before he takes in another breath and he walks back into the barn.
All right. Mia, where would you be on the day of the festival?
I think he would be starting in his chambers, mixing various potions and poultices, because once he has done his duty, ready for what will inevitably be questions and requests tomorrow, he wants to get that work underway before he can go and enjoy the festival himself and see the sights, I think.
Okay.
So he's going to be in his sort of chamber with alembics and things bubbling, and
Hell yeah. There's a quiet knock at your door.
Lady Alara, if it is you again, I swear for the 15th time this week, once every 3 days apply to the area. We have discussed this many a time.
It is not, in fact, Lady Alara that opens the door, but Lady Soraya. And she enters and closes it like softly behind her. Are you busy, Mia?
Oh, my dear lady, for you never.
Hold. Okay, sorry. Had to get that out.
You okay?
Yeah. Just had to throw up a little bit in my mouth. Yeah. She steps forward and she says, and you see her flexing her right hand. I need to talk to you about something.
Anything that you require, my lady.
How versed are you in conditions of nerves and the body? And she's still flexing that hand, or trying to at least. You see it's shaking as she's...
Yeah. I can suggest some remedies. I can create some remedies for you, my dear lady, but they are palliatives to the cause and not solutions, you would say. It depends on what you may have done or what you require of doing.
And she just helps herself to a seat in your chambers. And she has that hand out and she says, I find lately that I cannot move my hand as I used to. It will not obey me, and when it does, it hurts. A deep gnawing pain at my bones, and it shakes.
I sometimes find these things can be more of the mind and of the heart than of the muscles, my lady. But I will, of course, take a look for you. And so he walks over to you and takes your wrist and takes your hand, and very, very lightly in certain places. Does it hurt here or here, my lady? And he pushes down lightly at first and then quite heavily in another place.
Hey, James. Would you like to do the very first roll of the campaign?
Oh God, yeah, if I must. Wow. What am I rolling?
This will be a healing diagnose test.
Healing diagnose. Okay.
This is going to be...
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be a super high difficulty. Let me... Blah, blah, blah. See, this is where a good GM would have prepped that in advance. Yeah, here I am. Okay, this is going to be a... blah, blah, blah. Difficulty, like 6. Routine test.
Difficulty 6. Okay. You're going to have to help me here. So I've got 3 dice, and I think I keep 3? Is that the thing? Or
okay, what's your healing skill die?
my healing is, if this would care to open correctly, I believe it's 3. Yep.
Okay, and do you have any bonus die in diagnose?
Diagnose, I do not.
Okay, yes, so you're rolling 3, keeping 3.
Okay. Think 9.
9. Okay. Yeah, you can easily see this appears to be like early onset on arthritis. This is a problem with her joints.
Okay.
From your own examination.
This seems to be a common malady in the how shall I say, the more experienced in life, my lady. The joints, the tendons, they can tighten at times, and I suggest exercise. I suggest this small poultice. I will grab for you in 1 second, and I suggest, if at all possible, a reduction in stressful situations of every kind.
She raises an eyebrow at you.
I completely understand that perhaps 2 of those 3 are more likely than all of them together.
Speaking of, Nyla is missing.
Is she missing or is she missing, my lady?
For the time being, I assume her usual type of missing.
I assume she is taking two and then calling me in the morning, my lady.
Most likely.
Indeed.
I've sent out Garamond and Alara to find her, but expect a visit from her at some point, most likely.
Well, I do what I can, in all ways.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am going into the town later to enjoy the festival and all its spectacles. If I see her along the way, is there any duty you wish of her?
Tell her to find me as soon as she can,
Of course.
if you see her. I do want to talk to you, though, after the festival.
Of course, my lady. Anything you require.
I'll need to travel, and I'm going to need someone to keep an eye on the place while I'm gone.
You would like me to suggest a list, my lady?
I can count on one old crippled hand how many people I can trust to keep me up to date with what's happening in this place.
I would love to be included in that number. However, I am, of course, not trustworthy at all.
No, of course not.
No.
All right.
Well,
And
he walks over to the thing, grabs something, just crunches up what looks a bit like a beetle of some kind, but with some primrose or something like that. And just a small amount of a green substance that you're not quite sure what it is. Taps it into a paste, puts it into a bottle, and brings it and hands it to you. Apply it when you feel the pain, my lady, and I have added some primrose to alleviate some of the less enjoyable smell.
she sort of like sniffs it, and she's like,
Yeah.
Mm.
It
And
is
she
better
just-
than it could be.
Well, thank you, Mir. I gotta go and
Of course.
find my son.
Is he missing too?
No. Benno is always in the training yard. Thank God I have one reliable child.
He is less likely to wander than the girls, it must be said.
Well, part of me wishes he would wander a little bit and stop clinging to my skirts, but I can't have everything, can
I cannot produce a poultice for everything, my lady.
I? And she sort of puts a hand on your shoulder before she makes her way out. Wind. You have been spending your day in the town. You've been sort of keeping an eye on things if things been getting set up, but you saw the sort of closing of that puppet show, and you saw the beginnings of a little bit of a whatever that was towards the end with those raised tempers, and you saw a lot of those people head towards the tavern. So what do you want to do?
Well, this morning, as it's the start of the festival, we're about to begin. Wynn has got the look of a handmaid about her. She's wearing a fairly plain dress, as courtly clothes go. And what are the house colours again?
Red, gold, and blue.
So I think she's gone with like a kind of blue number, with a little bit of kind of gold trim, but not expensive. And she is actually for not very much like a kind of handmaiden. She's actually kind of sat fully on like a stone wall just at the shoreline. And she isn't brooding, but she is kind of breathing the salt air in through her nose and then slowly out again with her eyes closed. And after a while, she opens them and she then hops off the wall. And that end of puppet show troubles her, and so she starts to head towards the tavern, looking about the town and seeing what else is up and down the main causeway.
Okay. So a lot of the town is quite recently built. You know, a lot of this was here previously, a lot of this was Dornish land, but when the Rhoynar arrived, you know, the population of this place almost doubled overnight. So a lot of the Rhoynar live in remains of the ships and things that they managed to scavenge. Or, you know, they've built their houses out of those and those buildings. And so this town always feels busier than it is because it was never supposed to be as big as it is. So the streets are kind of full of folk, and especially now with the festival, there's people coming from outside of the town. You know, festivals, they pull people from all over because, you know, there's going to be fun, there's going to be games, there's going to be food. It's something to do, you know, it's like, what, 700 before Aegon's conquest? I mean, come on. But there is a very sort of strange mood. Those that you recognize of the Rhoynar, people that maybe you have traveled with in your time, are of much higher spirits than those that are of the native Dornish. A lot, you know, that's not to say that there aren't Dornish folks who are also hyped for a festival, but there is, you can definitely tell that sort of clash there of moods.
So she will head into the tavern, just lingering maybe, her gaze on one of the people that kind of started that argument yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and just consider them for a moment. But she heads into the tavern and she heads up to the bar, even though it's early, right? Still early morning.
Yeah.
But she heads in and sees if anyone is actually at the bar.
Okay, yeah, so you head up to the bar and there is a small girl working here. She's like 10. And you see her peer out and she's carrying like a big tray of bread and a bit of like boiled meat, cured meat on here. And she just says, I'll be with you in a minute. As she sort of like scuttles off and like gives it to a table.
I would like to, before it arrives at that table, try and grab some like bread and boiled eggs or like whatever she's got on there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's gonna be. Let's do a test. Let's do it. Are you trying to do this stealthily, or are you just trying to be quick?
I'm trying to do it in a kind of quick and kind of fun way as well.
Okay. Let's do this as an agility, quickness. Yeah. 14. Okay. Let me see if we can get this. See what this kid. Where's my sheet? She's not. She's only tiny. She's a tiny child. Ooh, 9. Okay. So, you know, she sees you coming as you're doing this in a sort of fast but playful way, and she tries to like dodge out of the way, but this plate is huge and she's almost like carrying it on her head because it's kind of heavy for her. And you grab a boiled egg, and she notices. She goes, "Hey, have you got coin for that?"
What I'd like to do is like with sleight of hand, like slip a coin onto the tray.
Okay. Yeah. She hears that clink. Good morning, Win.
Good morning.
And she goes and she puts the plate down. She comes back to you. What do you want?
Breakfast.
You just stole some.
I paid you.
Do you want bread, meat, beer? The usual?
Yes, please.
And she, you know, she's like 10, but she's acting like she's a 40-year-old woman that works in a deli, you know. She rubs her hands on the little apron that she's got, and she like, and she goes into the back, and you hear her like potting around. She comes out before long with a little plate for breakfast for you. There you go.
What, Susie, what's her name?
Fuck you. Her name is... Shit!
knows who I am.
I know. Her name is TA.
After a couple of mouthfuls of breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully catching TA when she's like got a second,
Mhm.
that where she's not by rushing around and working. Win will ask, did you see the puppet show yesterday?
I did.
It was fun, no?
I liked it. I thought it was good, but some people didn't.
Some people did not.
Mm-mm. You know, I mean, I was very, very tiny little baby when we got here. I don't remember any of it. So for me, I liked it. But
I was only your age when we landed at Sunspear.
it must have been very scary. Did you see the dragons?
Only in my nightmares.
And she gives you that sort of like sympathetic look, like her big eyes are just kind of like wide. And
Don't
she'll-
worry, child. I dream of golden castles now.
In your castles, in your dreams, is there enough space for everyone?
Of course.
If I worked very hard, could I have a room in your castle dream?
No one need to work too hard to get there.
And her little face lights up. And she giggles quite loudly. And at that, a couple of like salty Dornishmen in the corner, a couple of workers who are grabbing some breakfast before, like fishermen, before their day starts, they kind of look over at you. And there's kind of like a hard expression. It's not necessarily hostile initially, but it's kind of just a hard sort of like stare for a moment before he turns back to his group.
Salty Dornishmen. So these Royner folk?
No,
Or are
sorry.
these,
So I
like,
said
more,
salty.
like,
I meant like,
native?
yeah, native Dornish. Like these are like fishermen type, you know. Their
Okay.
skin is weathered from being out on
Mhm.
boats basically their entire lives.
I think in response to like getting this look from them, she will just kind of smile and say, "Good morning."
And one of them just goes, "Morning."
Not a good catch today.
We haven't been out yet.
And why would you? The whole town deserves a break in this festival.
Who is this festival for?
For you, for us.
For us. All right. We won't be up at that high table, feasting. We won't get to play at your games. We still got to fucking work.
Not today. Not tomorrow.
If we don't work today, if we don't work tomorrow, you don't eat the day after. And if you don't eat the day after, then you come for us.
I want to smile politely, and in the most, disarming and handmade way possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to mark his face in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going on the list.
Yeah. Yeah, mark him down. So just for you, for your mental note here, he is a middle-aged fisherman. He has you know when brown hair goes light because of the sun, so it's almost blondie
Bleached,
color.
yeah.
Yeah, bleached hair. No facial hair to speak of. But his skin is kind of very deep tan, and there's a lot of sun damage to it. So you can see like he's got like freckles across his cheeks and across his shoulders where his arms are bare. He's
Mhm.
about average height. And he's kind of low key being egged on by the other guys at his table. They're all kind of like, you know how men folk do, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Just charming,
Yeah.
disarming smile.
And TA, she can kind of she sees the vibes. She's kind of a childish obliviousness to the real root of the cause of it. She can just see people are getting a little antsy, and she leans across. She goes, "So, what are you going to do today?"
Well, I'm going to go up to the castle later, and I'm probably going to have to follow around the children of the house and do what they say and help them carry their things and possibly even wipe their asses if they need it.
And she kind of like laughs conspiratorially. You get to wear the pretty dresses like they do.
She kind of like does a little like show of the sleeves and kind of not like a full twirl, but like kind of gives it a little "this is what I've got on" situation. But then she says, "Not quite, but this will do."
Right.
And then she kind of rearranges herself a little bit, like she's not quite used to this a lot of the time, and it's a little bit uncomfortable. But she's kind of shifts in it a little bit, and then kind of gets back to eating her breakfast.
And then Tia goes, "Well, I think you look like a princess anyway for your castle, so." And then she hears a shout from the back from like her dad going, "Tia, I need your hand." And she's like, "Oh," and then she dashes off. And you are left in here with the fisherman in the corner. And as you're making your way through your breakfast, Sir Garamond and Lady Alara arrive at the tavern.
Garamond will help Alara down from a horse, and he will open the door to the tavern for her and wait for her to enter.
Quick question. Alara,
Yeah.
how are you dressed right now?
The festival, right?
Yeah, she'll be dressed for the festival, so it'll be. I'm guessing. Would it be silks because it's a
Yeah,
special
so
occasion?
you have like maybe 2 silk dresses that are like the moment dresses.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is the blue one. But hers are very. It's very kind of layers of strips of fabric for her because she dances a lot. So it's all very flowy, and just occasionally the wind will whip it, or she'll move in a certain way, and there's a large amount of thigh going on. Yeah, this is not tavern attire in
No.
any way, shape, or form.
Well, as you pull up to the front with your horses, you have definitely got the attention of folk in the crowd. They are certainly aware of you, and they're looking at you with a range of expressions, from wonder to jealousy to resentment to just happiness to see the lady. It's every emotion you could probably expect.
She'll hop very balletically almost down off her horse, sort of using Garamond's shoulder, and beam at them all equally, regardless of what their expression is, and blow a couple of the ones who look like they're appreciative a little kiss. And, hello. I'm looking for my sister. Anybody seen her?
You see there's a group of young, sort of like late teenagers, 17, 18-year-olds, mix of men and women. And one of the girls comes forward and she goes, I could help you find your sister if you like.
Well, you want to come on an adventure?
And she, she looks you up and down. I think I'd be taking you on the adventure, my lady.
I'll return the up and down look. Perhaps mutual, maybe.
And she stands there and looks at you for a minute before one of her friends is like, pulls her away. Like, what are you doing?
Garamond will step up to milady. We really should check the tavern.
Do they have ravens? Is that the prime communication method around here?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't say it. No, it's fine. Send me a raven. Okay.
Girl, what are your digits?
Yeah. No, she'll just blow her a kiss as she runs off and almost kind of skip into the tavern. It's a very sort of light, airy dancer's step as she goes in.
It's dark inside this tavern. You know, there's lighting from the fire, which is lit, and there's a couple of candles and what's coming in through the window, but it's dark wood, so it's pretty, it's pretty dim. You know, like when you go into a country pub in England and you open it and you're like, Jesus Christ, I've entered a cave.
Yeah.
And very much like entering a country pub, the weird men in the corner turn around to look at you.
Mm-hmm. She is thrilled by this. This is fine. And we'll sort of skip up to wherever the counter, the serving area is, and kind of lean across it.
Win. You notice this, I hope.
Yeah, as soon as she does, she'll turn and curtsy to Ilara.
Oh,
My lady.
no. Thank you, but no. Are you well?
Okay, and you?
Little hungover, but it's just a regular day, I suppose. Nella's gone missing. Any ideas?
No, I'm afraid not. She kind of like hides her like fear. Oh.
Pillow house, then, maybe.
What do
It's
I
red.
think would be the most likely place for her to be?
Probably a pillow house or a place of ill repute. A Westerosi opium den, probably. Something like that.
It'll just say, after you, my lady.
Oh, so nice to have good friends. I'll link arms and head out.
As you do, as you're starting to make your way out, the fishermen that were in the corner, they've eaten their breakfast, they've drunk their small beer. They're making their way out, and you are near the door, and they have to pass you to get out. And obviously in your regalia, the one who you have remarked previously when does a very deep mock bow sort of curtsy to you. My lady.
She will do like a full balletic spin and go right down into this low curtsy to him. My lord.
My hand is on my knife at my belt.
As he brushes past you, Sigarmund, you hear him say very quietly to his friends, "Cut."
Ooh. No, not today. Not today.
Go on, do it. Millie, I'm giving you a big red button. I'm doing it.
Ooh. Oh, there's going to be such a slippering. Fuck it. Okay. She turns and just pulls the whip off her hip, flicks it at his ankle, and pulls his leg out from underneath him.
Okay, fuck. All right. Well then. Do you know what I didn't pull up and I should have done? The rules for combat.
Combat cheat sheet.
Combat
Oh,
cheat
no.
sheet.
Don't need that.
Don't need it? No, we don't need
don't
it.
need it.
We don't need that here. Where's my
Better than
cheat
them, we
sheets
don't need
at?
it.
I mean, he's gonna fucking swing.
Gonna lose a fucking arm.
He's gonna lose a fucking life. He's gonna swing for one of the fucking noble of the house. All right, cool.
Okay, so we begin this then with that's warfare, not combat. We'll need to take initiative. So anybody who wishes to get involved in this here bar fight, please do roll initiative.
Millie, you've got 2 bonus dice in chat, and
Ooh.
Tom, you've got 3 bonus dice in chat,
Oh,
and I'm going to
brilliant.
put one of my 3 bonus dice in as well.
How
Oh
do
my
we roll
God.
initiative?
It is agility,
Quickness.
quickness.
Agility, quickness. Hang on a minute.
You know when it says you can re-roll ones on a certain thing? If you re-roll
Mhm.
another one, can you re-roll that, or is that it? Because it
Oh,
doesn't say
I
you
don't. I
must
don't.
always take the
I
second
don't
thing.
think so. Yeah.
I didn't think so, because you could
I
just
don't
keep
think so.
rolling.
Yeah, that'd
oh,
be
GM
that
weird.
was such a bad roll. Holy shit.
your call, Susie. Do I keep rolling for, or do I just take the second one?
Take the second.
Take the second. Okay, no problem.
Okay.
16 then.
I don't know why I rolled a 2 there. Ignore that. All right, I'm gonna say there was 3 of them. Okay. So, where's my pen and paper? Who we got? Who's first? Oh.
Yeah, I'm super hungover right now.
Okay. Tom, what did you get?
16.
16. Garamond is up first with a 16. Then we have a thug. We've got Win. This will be much more smoother in future. But I'm still reminding myself how to play this game. And then Alara. Okay, and then okay. So Garamond, this guy has been pulled to the floor, and his friends, in response, they pull out these like small like fisherman's blades, which are sort of rough and in construction. They're not of like finely honed. These guys, dickheads.
Yeah.
And one of them has a blade. One has like a club, like a little billy club that he has. And they look like they want to start something. They look like they're aggressive.
Okay. As you know, done that, and they start to take out a blade. Garamond immediately raises his shield, and lightning quick draws his longsword, steps in front of Alara, and I want him to kind of shoulder barge them away, so there's a distance between them, and so Alara's right behind me, and I'm protecting her. And I
Okay.
just want to shoulder barge them, intimidate them to kind of say, this is not a good idea.
Okay. So
Um,
what sort of action are you going for here?
I will. Okay, so I'm going to try and disarm one with the shoulder barge in an attempt to kind of
Ooh, okay.
end it.
All right.
You know,
Yeah.
just end it. So I need to, so I'm using my shield for this. 33.
Excuse me.
33.
Yeah.
With
Okay.
360.
Yeah, that's gonna do it.
Well, I like this. So I like to kind of think that I barge one out the way and then come down with the sword on the hand of the one and just slam it on the wrist so that he has no choice but to drop it, and then barge him away and get in front of the other one with blade drawn and kind of just looking at them going, just shaking his head.
Okay, yeah, so you bring down the blade. Are you bringing down like the flat of the blade across his wrist? Like you're not trying to cut him?
Well, I'm not. No, I'm using the shield to
the
come down.
shield,
So
sorry.
the shield
The
side. Yeah,
shield.
the blade hasn't gone near them
Okay.
yet. I'm not. Yeah.
So you bring the shield down on the man with the knife, the fillet knife, and there's a slight crunch as you connect with his wrist bone, and he screams, "Ah, you fucking!" as the knife clatters to the ground. He holds his wrist, and he shouts at you. The thug on the ground, he untangles. Wait, Millie, does your whip have like any sort of property that's like a tangle or a grapple?
Does indeed, yeah. It's an entangling weapon with reach, so reduces his movement to 1 yard, and he takes -5 penalty on all tests.
What the fuck? Shit! Why didn't I fucking spec Miri into whips?
Right.
Fuck.
That's sickening.
Jesus. Okay. So the guy on the ground, he pulls himself up. He doesn't manage to quite get rid of the whip from his wrist. But you can smell in his breath that alcohol, that beer, and you can see that sort of anger in his eyes. And he, as he pulls himself up, he spits. "You fucking Roynock, I'm gonna fucking like you've owned this," and he's spitting these fucking insults at you. And he's gonna just try and take a swing at Garamond, just with his
Okay.
fist. He's just gonna try and punch Garamond in the face. This is gonna be a reckless attack. So he's gonna be fighting 5 drop 1. It's gonna be a 20.
Oh, that actually does hit.
Okay.
That would be 1 degree of success.
1 degree of success. I need to just double check right now what brawling is when it does its damage. Like what punching is unarmed.
Is that including the -5?
Oh, -5 would be
yeah, you're
15.
right.
Yes, sorry, I forgot you
So
had a
he
15.
doesn't hit.
He doesn't hit. Okay, so he does connect, but he connects to the chain mail. So he hits the chain across your chest. He's swinging for your face, but he obviously, with his foot tangled, he fucking flubs it, and he just punches you in the chest. And you can see his fingers, like his knuckles are cut where they've made contact with that chain. And he pulls back, and he's very, very angry at this point with his eyes. And you see his friend who just got disarmed is like kind of maybe thinking this is a bad idea, and he seems sort of reaching out for his mate. But it is Wynn's turn in this combat. So you've just seen this guy swing for Garamond.
Yeah. And there are 3 of them, right?
3 of them.
We got Punchy, Flory, and the other guy.
Yes.
Clubby.
Okay.
Clubby, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna aim at Clubby. That's the other one, right? The one we hasn't
Yes.
done anything yet. So what I want to do is aim and throw a knife. I'm gonna just, instead of like jumping in and like stabbing, I'm gonna take 1 step in front of Alara so that I'm basically like body blocking her, about half of her. So just in front of her, and in the same motion, my arm just goes out and flings the knife at my belt, spins in the air, and hopefully connects with the guy. So the aim is going to give me a bonus dice to this. So that would be a 13 to hit.
A 13 hits. Okay, that's gonna be 2 degrees of success.
4 damage.
4 damage.
I want to aim for I want to aim for like his arm or his weapon arm, or what, like if he's wielding a club, like I want to aim for it.
Okay.
So not necessarily because like mechanically I can't disarm him, but like stop him from being effective.
Yeah, okay. So this knife flies out, just a whoosh of air past your ear, Alara, as you hear that blade, and you see Wynn step in front of you to protect you. The blade sinks into his sort of like his upper shoulder, like here, into his chest, and you hear him scream out in pain, and you see his rough fisherman's tunic begin to sort of seep with red. As it's clearly bleeding from this wound, and he you see him turn to his other friends. He's like, these guns aren't worth it, let's go, we'll get there, they'll get theirs. And the guy who have been disarmed is like nodding in agreement and starting to back up. One of them like opens the door while still keeping an eye on you, you know, trying to keep that defense. And that will be him, which will be to Alara. You still have the guy with your whip.
I don't know if this counts as 2 lesser actions or not. What I really want to do is pull on the whip again to floor him and kick him in the face. 'Cause he said a bad word about me, and I don't like that.
Okay, let's do. Oh,
Sorry.
yeah,
I
I
want
know.
to
And
skip up and then kick him in the face.
okay, let's just go with make this just a standard attack as you kick him in the face.
Like a brawling attack?
Yes.
Okie dokie. I'm going to put a bonus in because I'm angry.
I mean, you could aim to get an extra bonus die.
Okay. How do I do that?
So you
no,
just-
wait. I don't think I actually can.
Oh,
I don't think you can't go above your base
no.
ranking, can you? Okay, I can't aim. Or I am aiming. Whatever.
Okay.
Get one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll aim. I may as well not use my bonus dice. I'll keep that.
All right.
All right, let's go.
15 is going to connect. That would be, again, 2 degrees of success.
So that is, hang on. How do I work this out? How much damage this does?
Brawling, I think it's athletics -1.
I looked it up. Brawling with a fist is
With fist.
athletics -3.
-3.
That's
Oh,
with a fist, yes. Brawling with a whip is agility -1.
okay, so 3.
Okay. You connect with his face. You hear that crunch of his nose. And mechanically, at this point, they will yield. They are not continuing the fight. They are done with the fight. So that leaves them up to the mercy of you lot, as they're disengaging. They're trying to like get out. They're very clearly trying to get out with their body language. Mechanically, we've come to a yield in the combat, sort of, in the actual dicey bit of the game.
I will flick the whip to disentangle it and just kind of wrap it back around my body.
Before they leave, I like to walk up to the door, like try and hold it or close it shut, or just ajar enough that they can't get out, and then square in the face of the guy that I throw my knife to, I want to say, "I want my knife back, please."
He looks at you in the face, and there's anger, but there's a lot of fear as well, as they just got fucking beat down. As he looks at you and he pulls the knife out of his shoulder, and he tries not to yelp in pain, but you hear him go, and then he drops it on the floor. There's your fucking knife.
I let them leave.
As the guy who started all this walks past me, I go, "Psst, you all right?"
He looks at you, and again, there's like just fury in his eyes, but he nonetheless leaves the tavern.
Garamond will put his long sword away and sling the shield over his shoulder and turn around and goes, "Milady, that was not wise."
Well, neither is calling the second daughter of the House a cunt, but here we are.
No, you're right. But with the tensions as high as they am, this festival is to bridge the gap between the locals and your family.
Right,
Causing fights, your mother would be very displeased.
right. So what am I to do? Just let them say that? Get a reputation for what?
Words are nothing, milady.
Words are everything.
As you say, but we still need to find your sister.
As Wynn is cleaning off her knife with a like bar rag from the countertop, she just says with a smile, "I'm sure the things will just find a way of working out."
See, that's the kind of thinking we need. Positive thinking. Pillar House?
You say, milady? and he'll open the door to let them out.
Nyla.
I
Hi. It is pitch black where you are. You see no light. And you only hear your own sort of rhythmic breathing. It's soft around you. You're covered in fabrics or pillows, or you're on a mattress at least. But everything is dark.
feel like Nyla just lays there for a minute, eyes open in the dark. Am I this time? Oh. And just like tries to sit up to see if she can see where she is.
As you
It's
sit,
like when like when you wake up out of sleep and you're like, I don't know what year it is, I don't know what day it is, I have no idea what's happening.
what year is it? You sit up and your eyes start to adjust, and you can see there's a little bit of dim light in here. And as you sort of look around, you start to piece together where you are. Most of the night previously is a complete blur.
Not unusual.
Not unusual. You remember music, you remember a lot of dancing, but things start to get a little bit hazy after that. You feel around, it's soft, but as you sort of move around a little bit, you realize the mattress that you're on is like a straw one, a rough straw one. The fabric that's covered you right now is again rough spun like linens and cotton. This is not one of the nice pillow houses that you've maybe been to before. This is not your house. This is not your room. This is somewhere decidedly lower in status.
Probably not entirely unusual for Nyla, because she does occasionally just go off and do whatever. I think the first thing she does is like sit up and she looks at her hands. Does it look like she's been fighting?
Little bit.
Oh, I'm going to be in so much trouble. Is she clothed
No.
right now?
Buck ass
Oh.
naked.
I guess the first thing she does, like, she's not even massively concerned about where she is. She's feeling around, and knowing Nyla, she would have gone out, like, in her leather armor with her nice Bravosi blade so she could show off. And hopefully so that, people didn't try to start a fight, because she does like a good fight. And just starts feeling around in the dark for this, knowing it's probably here somewhere, she hopes.
So you feel around in the dark, and then you feel the edge of your armor. You feel the scabbard of your blade. As you feel with your other arm, you feel a leg, a foot.
She'll like grab the armor with one hand and start like pulling the leather over the top of her, like so she's got something on and pulling the scabbard nearer. And it's at this point she starts to kind of smile. She's like, "Oh, okay, I'm starting to piece together what may have happened here last night," and looks over to what she's hoping is probably one of the women she's picked up from a brothel somewhere in a bar, like, and just has a peek to see who this is next to her.
You see a woman, a young adult woman, like on her front, her hair a sort of dirty blonde color, just like everywhere, long. It was once in a braid. There's like half of it still in a braid, the rest of it's out and all over the place. She is just as naked as you are, and she is absolutely out cold. She doesn't even like, as you sort of, you felt her leg, there was no stirring, there was no like waking up. She's just asleep.
It looked like she's like drunk asleep.
Yeah.
Or like dead asleep. Okay.
Like when you've had a really, really heavy night and you're
Dead to the
out
world.
and nothing
Yeah.
and no one will wake you up until you're ready.
Nyla smiles to herself and will continue to like don the rest of her armor and put the scabbard on and like starts rubbing over the knuckles that are a bit sore as she tries to remember who she might have punched or why. Not that she usually gets many answers to those questions at this time in the morning after a night out. Doesn't attempt to like fix any of her hair, reaches around for the little cloak that goes over the side of her armor and pulls that on. She looks like it's all done up, but she looks like she's had a rough night. And I guess goes over to where there's probably like a shutter on some windows somewhere, and just kind of like doesn't want to open it fully to wake this woman up, but like enough that she can look out and make sure that she still is in the same fucking town.
So
She's having like blurred visions of knowing that she had her horse with her at this point and just being like, oh god, like where am I?
So you look out of the shutter and you see you're right on the beach almost. You're in what you could only assume to be one of the fisher villages that's not quite in the town near your home. It's nearby.
Is Brightmane saddled up outside somewhere?
You see Brightmane being tended to right now by a man in his sort of 30s. And you see he's brushing her nose, like petting her nose, and he seems to be feeding her some sort of like grain.
Kind of nods, puts the window back, has a look around. This definitely isn't just a brothel, right? She's trying to work out if she's supposed to leave any money at this point.
Doesn't look brothel-esque.
She kind of nods to herself. Oh, well, I better be getting back. This is going to be bad. This is going to be really bad. And just like makes for the door, just wants to leave. Just like it's now returning to her. She's supposed to be going towards this festival. She has not been at home tonight. It is early hours of the morning. And she looks like shit.
As you leave, you pull apart, it's not even like a door to get into the rest of this house. It's like a curtain. As you pull back the curtain, you see the door to this house open and an older woman step through, and she looks at you and she says, "Who are you?"
Who are you?
"You're in my house."
That appears to be so, yes. I'm going to be honest with you. Do you have a daughter?
Yes.
Blonde? Pretty?
Yes.
In which case, I was simply returning your daughter home last night after she had far too much to drink in a tavern. She just smiles like this big grin.
This older woman, she clearly is not buying this excuse, but she says, "Thank you. Would you like something to eat, to drink?"
That is very kind of you, but I feel like you probably want me to leave.
She doesn't say anything, but her face is like, "Get the fuck out of my house! Get the fuck out of my
Nyla's
house!"
still got like this big, even though like her braids, her hair is like a mess, and some of them have pulled out, and like her armor's all disheveled. She's still like got this big like smiley grin on her face. Like this is all just running off of her at this point. Now she's worked out that like not a brothel, probably in trouble. This is fine. I probably haven't killed anybody. She's just like, thank you for your hospitality. And just like really gracefully but still awkwardly like brushes past the woman out of the door.
You can
towards
see
Brightmane.
as you sort of brush past her, you hear a like sucking in of breath and a low tutting as she spots a massive like love bite on your neck.
Is there something that like Nyla can catch this in, like a piece of mirrored glass that might be somewhere?
Well,
Just...
funnily enough, Brightmane is next to a trough with water in it.
She notices like the woman's eyes staring, and when she goes out to the trough, she kind of leans over and like pulls down the top bit of the armor. Well, she did have a lot to drink. And goes over. Is the man here still tending to Brightmane?
He's not currently like petting her or anything, but you know he's got her reins and he's tied her to a fence post so she doesn't run off.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I must thank you for attending to my horse. Could I offer you any payment for the food or your time?
And he just looks at you. Just one day, remember that I didn't chase you from my daughter's bedroom with a sword.
I would not have recommended doing it.
And you would
Better
probably
than finding her with a man, though.
I suggest you leave, my lady. The festival's beginning soon.
My mother shall be very displeased. But for your time, and she'll reach around, like, on her belt into her coin purse, and she'll hand the man a single silver stag.
What a wonderful payment for my daughter's maidenhood.
I do not think that I possess the correct equipment for taking that, but reaches back in and hands him another silver stag.
And he has a look on his face, just like, bitch, you fucking better go. I'm you the fucking disrespect. He is
Nyla
furious.
is in such a good mood at this point. It's sickening. Like, she will get up onto Brightmane, which is a very obvious horse. Like, Brightmane is like that kind of like golden color that you get on horses, really shiny. Just saddles up, takes a minute to stroke the horse, and will start a slow, slightly hungover trot, at least out of this immediate area back towards the town itself. Probably looking for somewhere she can get some food.
Good lord. Okay. Your trot back to the village, the town, sorry, is a horrible one. Being hungover and being on horseback is a unique hell. One you are, though, probably more familiar with than most. You sort of stay high in the stirrup, so you're not being bounced around as much. But that sun is oppressive, and in your armor and with that hangover, your head is starting to throb, especially not having had any reliable source of hydration in at least 24 hours.
There's a level to this that Brightmane is used to this kind of bullshit too. And so, like, Alara's not even really riding Brightmane at this point. The horse is just doing, it's like, oh, we're doing the trot of shame back home, are we?
We're going home. Yeah. Yeah. Brightmane, Brightmane can have a fiery disposition at time to time. But Brightmane is staying even and not testing you too much today.
She's doing her best, like, going along, trying to take her mind off the hangover of, like, just adjusting the little bits of armor, occasionally staring down at her knuckles and wondering how the hell she's going to hide that from her mother, because Nyla does like to fight, and just kind of starts keeping an eye out to see if she knows if anyone's come looking for her, because it wouldn't be the first time that her mother has sent people out to be like, go and find her and bring her back.
So this walk of shame is...
Nyla's not ashamed, though. Nyla's got a massive grin on her face.
But this is a very almost awkward procession, as you are the heir to the house. You are quite well known as the heir to the house. And even though most folks being, fishers, traders, you have been seen a lot in public. And so as you pass, your head's swimming and you low-key look like you got dragged out of a hedge backwards. People are noticing, people are looking, and you hear whispers and talk. You don't hear exactly what they're saying, but you can definitely, people are talking.
Smiles at all of them. Just like this big beaming smile. Anyone who she thinks this is being particularly mean, she will like purposely nod at in acknowledgement. It's like kind of like, yeah, I hear you. I don't care. And we'll just keep going on this little walk, hoping that maybe it's early enough that Mother hasn't sent anybody out yet, and she can get back before the search party comes out. But she's got no idea what time it is. Like,
as you think those thoughts and trot your way back to town, we return to Tibalto. At this point, sorry, what sort of chores what would you be doing as the day has progressed? So a couple of hours after we last saw him.
So he spends his early morning hours. I mean, he gets there before dawn because this is not his life.
Mm-hmm.
This is his career, and he tends for the horses. He cleans up their shit. He stacks and organizes their food sources, hay bales, and he does this, pretty quickly. He doesn't make a lot of chat with the people. Some of these people who work here, for the local nobles, he's friends with, but they're tavern friends, and he's not there to communicate with them overly much while he works. And so he's very quiet, very focused while he works. But the second that he's done, the second that he's finished his work, he'll step outside the stables. He'll grab onto the door frame and kind of swing himself out and taking a long, deep breath of fresh air and smile. He rocks on the balls of his feet back and forth, and his entire disposition changes. But he does have a little thing that he wants to do before he takes off into town.
Okay.
Would Tbolto know where the family keeps their good food that they're cooking perhaps for this festival
Yeah, I
or
think
for
that.
their dinner?
Yeah, that would be pretty well known, especially being one of the house servants. You could easily figure that out. It's in the kitchens. Like they
Do you,
have
do you-
like a house kitchen, and then they have like servant kitchen.
so is the house kitchen on the first floor? Is it higher up?
Yeah, it's on the first floor. It's like a
Okay.
big stone room with a big
Okay.
grand fireplace.
So he wants to base it in do they keep guards on the front door?
They do, but you wouldn't be out of the ordinary of going in there. Like you wouldn't be.
Okay. Then in that case, he just strolls in very, very casually, very quickly, a big smile on his face. And when he sees the guards, he kind of rubs the back of his hair and pulls some straw out of his hair and flicks it to the ground and says, "Are you going to the festival today?"
Someone has to guard the castle.
Well, if you ask me, you have the better job, my friend. There is quite a mood down in the town today.
Oh
People
yeah.
are angry.
Why?
With some puppet show, you know how people get. The war, it is over, but in the hearts of some people, it still continues on. In small ways, perhaps.
Hmm. Hmm. You know how it is. Some people can't move on. Stuck in the past.
Yes. Not me, though, and not you, my friend. Excuse me, I have to go inside for just a moment. Would you do me a great favor and just watch to make sure that boy there, the new one that works out in the yard, I've seen him sneaking into the stables. I do not know what he is doing in there, but I have my concerns.
And he gives you a look, trust you.
Thank you. And he strolls right into the keep and he will make his way towards the kitchen as quickly and confidently as he can. If anybody is walking past, he'll make eye contact and nod. If it's a lord or a lady, obviously he'll, show some level of deference. But his goal is to get to the kitchen quickly and see if there's anyone in there, what it looks like on the inside.
Okay, so the kitchen is quite the hive of activity right now, as most of the food has already been cooked. There's for a festival like this, it's been prepped for days. They have been ready for this, but some of the stuff that absolutely couldn't have been cooked previously is currently cooking right now. There's a big like pig on a spit, like a hog being roasted over the big fire, and there's like a poor beleaguered little kitchen boy that just every now and then just rotates it. He's sweating, he's next to this fire, but there's handmaids grabbing snacks for nobility and guests. There's scullery folk just dashing around, but no one ever really is like, everyone's moving around each other. There's not a lot of talk unless it's like absolutely necessary.
So he pauses for a moment right at the corner, not heading in. He just watches, he watches, he watches, he smiles, and he looks for like two empty baskets lying out. His goal is to move quickly before anyone sees who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up one basket and put it on his right shoulder, pick up one basket and put it on his left shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and then move towards the food.
Okay. So, there is like a blend in skill, I believe. Stealth blend in. So I'm going to ask you to test this. It's going to be a routine test. As you are a member of the household staff, it is not unusual to see you. You've been here for quite some time. And if you move with purpose, people tend to not question why you're there.
All right. Yeah, this isn't his specialty, but I roll 3 1s and a 3.
Okay. There is the head of the kitchen, who is quite an old man at this point. He's an old Dornishman. And he kind of gives you a little bit of a look. There's an arch of an eyebrow, but he doesn't interfere with you as you come through. Nobody else is really paying you too much attention. They've all got things to do and places to be, and that's it.
He smiles and he nods and he goes to set the baskets down, knowing that he's been spotted by this man. But he's not going to give up just yet. What he tries to do is he tries to stumble a little bit and knock one of the baskets into a pile of the food to knock it off the table. And then he's going to try to catch it with the other basket and then place the empty basket inside on top so it looks like it's empty.
Okay.
Both baskets are empty.
Oh, fuck. Okay, we're going to make that a sleight of hand test.
Okay.
Because you're trying to do some tricky maneuvering.
And because I rolled so poorly that first one, I will spend one of my bonus dice on this. Because this is also not one of his specialties.
Gotcha. So that's thievery.
He has a purpose. A 17.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with one fluid motion, you are uncharacteristically, you trip, you hip check this table, the food tumbles into the first basket, you sort of sweep it out, place the other basket on top, and there you go. You have an empty basket in your hands.
And
Wink.
he pops back up and says, sorry. I was hoping I could, I made a mess. My apologies. Could I have some apples for the horses? I thought you might have some in here.
And the old man, he points with a gnarled finger to a pantry in the usual place.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to the festival later today, and I hope they let you all get out of here and get on to the festival soon. And he just strolls around whistling as he heads in to fill the top basket now with just apples.
Okay. With your apple bounty secured, as you where are you headed?
As soon as he's got the apple basket, he heads back out of the castle just as merry as he was heading in. And he is going to leave the keep. He's going to head back into town. He's going to head home for a moment.
Okay. As you begin to make your way out of the keep, you hear a voice from behind you. Tabato?
Oh, yes. And he spins around with a big smile on his face.
You recognize this as one of the younger maids of the house. Young Master Benu is looking for you.
Oh, did he say what he wanted?
He wanted to ask you some questions about the gap.
I see. Well, yes. Where can I find him?
He's in the training yard.
Very well. I will go say hello. Thank you.
And she nods and scurries off. And you go and you find Benu in the training yard. He is not sparring with anyone. He is going ham on a wooden training dummy. And he is a young man, about 16 years of age. And he is decked out in his training gear, which he's sort of tied around his waist. He had a shirt that he's tied around his waist. And you can see he's lithe and wiry in his musculature. And he has been training with all sorts of weapons. You can see this morning there's a short sword, a long sword, spear, axe. They're just all strewn around the floor. And he is resting against a wall with the water skin in hand, dripping with sweat.
Balto approaches and he kicks up a practice short sword from the ground to his hand. He fumbles it a little bit and he gives a couple of like playful but very poorly formed and performed slashes with it, and then picks up a couple of other items on his way over to him and kind of sets them down in a pile. And holds the two baskets stacked on top of each other on his hip, and he says, hello, master, I was told that you wish to speak with me.
He wipes the sweat from his brow and sort of flicks it away. And he's like, Tibalto, good to see you.
Are you feeling all right?
I overdid it this morning, I think, a little bit. Whew. That dummy fights back.
I would not know. I have honestly only ever watched.
Are you busy right now?
I was just finished with work. I must go home soon, but I'm here right now. What may I do for you?
I wanted to ask you about the gap.
All right. What about the gap?
I want to swim it.
I see. Well, you wish to swim it tonight for the festival?
Yes.
And, well, I have to ask this just because I do not recall. I haven't swam with this man before, correct?
Nope.
I've never seen you swimming out far off the beach. Are you practiced?
And he gives you a big beaming smile. I'm Roinar. I can swim.
Yes, of course you can. Well, then I think you should swim the gap. I would warn you, it is dangerous. There are sharks out there.
That's what I wanted to ask you about.
You can see his face drop for a moment, and then probably not noticeable, but it's a fake smile, fake grin comes to the corner of his mouth. He says, I see. Well, you have certainly come to the right man.
That's what they say. I don't mean to offend you or anything, Tiboto, but they say that you have an affinity with them, that you can speak to them.
Well, anyone can speak to a shark, of course. It's whether or not they listen when you speak. Swimming and swimming in shark-infested waters, it's like making love. You have to care for the water. You have to care for the creatures that live in the water. You have to see how they move, and you have to move with them, not against them. Do you understand? If you listen to this, if you follow this advice, I'm sure you'll be fine tonight.
And as you say, it's like making love. His face instantly turns scarlet red, and he starts kicking like the sand at his toes. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Good. Then I imagine that I have given you exactly the advice that you wanted from me.
Yes, but if what do you say to the sharks? I know that swimming, I swim with the water, make love with the water. What do you say to them so they don't eat you?
Susie, I have to ask you, what is this guy's reputation? What do I know about him?
He is a bit of a milksop. Like, he's a bit of a mama's boy. jealous. He
Mm.
his reputation, he's a pretty decent fighter,
Mhm.
from what you've seen, but everything otherwise a little sheltered.
There's a moment in his head where Tibalto, the mischievous part of him says to tell him some more bullshit. Say something like, sing them a bawdy tavern song that you've heard before, or something of the kind. And he almost does. And then he stops himself and he sighs and he says, it is not something that I can tell you. What I can do is if you plan to swim the gap tonight during the festival, just don't go alone. Find me, I will be at the festival. Let me come with you, just in case. There is, of course, no dishonor in going together.
And he looks at you with a look of like respect and admiration, and genuine like thanks. And then he
Of
nods.
course, if you find it in your heart to repay me for this kindness, I will not complain. I do have mouths to feed.
Well, provided I don't get eaten by sharks, then whatever you need.
Well, I can promise you this. You will not be eaten by a shark if you are with Tibalto.
And he again beams at you, smiles, and he offers like a hand to shake.
And he kind of dusts off because he's still got, he's probably got horse shit on his hand. He dusts it off just a little bit, and he grabs and shakes his hand, a very hearty shake. He says, I have to be getting home now, but you should rest up. If you are already tired this early in the day, well, the gap is longer than it looks.
And then you hear calling from the balcony, Lady Soraya calling for Banu, and he looks up and he goes, looks like I'm in trouble. Good luck. Goodbye. Wait, it should be me that gets good luck. Bye. And he runs off.
And kind of gives him a, yep, you probably are look, picks up the two baskets, holds them over his shoulder, breathes a deep sigh of relief, and turns to look to the road that runs back down to the town. And he could not be happier to be getting out of here right now.
Working class hero Tibalto. We love him. Meanwhile, Wynn, Alara, and Garamond, you're making your way through town. You've visited 3 places of ill repute that you know so far in the town. No sign of Nyla. As you're about to exit a very oddly populated pillar house for the time of day. Nobody in there. It's like a nightclub when the lights come on at the end of the night, and everyone's like, "Ooh!" Everyone's kind of got that expression. One of the patrons pulls you aside, Garamond. I saw the Lady Nyla last night.
Why? And what was she doing?
Well, after she challenged basically an entire tavern to a fist fight, she worked her way through 3 people. It was quite impressively, actually, 3 people. And then she picked up this woman, this blonde fisherman's daughter, threw her over her shoulder and walked away.
And everyone saw this.
Everyone saw it.
By the 7. Do you know where this fisherman daughter lives?
And he points in a direction. That way, I think. Oh, that's the way they went. I think.
You have my thanks. And he'll come up and he'll give a silver stag. Or, well, they're probably not stags at this point, are they? But the equivalent of a silver. Thank you. And he'll head on over to Alara, and if Win is next to him, he goes, I believe I know where she's gone. She seemed to have, well, let's just say I know where she potentially could be. If you would like to mount your horses again, we would hopefully be able to catch up with her.
Did we hear any of that?
Oh yeah, the guy wasn't being quiet. Like
Oh,
very
right.
loudly.
I thought he kind of came over and
No,
whispered.
no, he pulled you aside, but like
Oh.
he was talking, but just like
Oh, I see what you
talking
mean.
plus.
Right. Okay.
The wind's not doing a very good job of hiding a smile.
Elara was never hiding the smile. I've got to admit I am slightly disappointed. I was rather enjoying touring the pillow houses with you. You blush so prettily.
Thank you, milady. If we could continue, we can. The sooner we find your sister, the sooner we can get to the festivities.
Oh, good. I'll just mount up.
He helps her mount up. That's a point. Does Win have a horse?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
She
all
has
right
her
then. That's all right then.
Yeah, she has a sand steed
We've all got
Calibri
posh
with her.
horses around here.
Yeah. So he'll mount up,
Mhm.
and he'll start heading towards the direction where the Fisher village was.
Okay.
Just
As
wasn't that destructive.
as you start making your way that direction, you see there is banners on the horizon. Banners that would be instantly recognizable to you, to all of you. These are the banners of House Nymeria Martell.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay. Right.
oh, no wonder she was stressed. Oh. We had better.
Milady, I think it would be better if you had returned back to Stormwhale, and I will find the lady, Nyla.
I have
I'll
made a
take you.
promise to my mother, and Martel does not terrify me as much as she does.
As you wish. Just hope find her quickly. And he's gonna kick and give the horse a bit more of a kick, because it's probably been like a little trot through the streets and stuff, but it's probably a bit of a more of a kick and urgent. See if we can get to the fishing village quickly and hope we're not noticed.
Nyla. That's very short, like bleh. Nyla, as you are making your drunken trot, or walk, probably not a trot. A trot would be a lot. Making your drunken walk on Bright Main, you see on an adjoining road, because the Fisherman's Road isn't nothing like just worn, it's not a proper road, it's just from where people have been. You can see on the road, which journeys south from Ghost Hill, where you reside, this procession of banners, and you see the flaming sun and the spear of House Nymeria Martell. You see a carriage. It is closed carriage. You can't see who is in it, but there are a bunch of horses with it, as well as a almost like a camp follower behind it of servants and supplies. You see a bunch of other horses and other houses that have joined this procession to come along to this festival, of varying different levels of status. You have some of the larger houses, but you also have tiny nobles that have made their own flags, that are like, yeah, I want to be the big dogs.
Got a banner too.
I got a banner. And there's like one person, carrying it. But nonetheless, you see this procession.
I think this is what sobers Nyla up, like, in an instant, and, like, the realization of, like, I really should have been home last night, and I would have known that this was coming. Um, so I think in that, she probably really does, like, straighten out the cloak and the armor. She'll pull the leather ties out of her hair so she can no longer has this, like, messy plait, but at least it falls loose and it looks a little bit more presentable than what is clearly last night's hairstyle.
Mm-hmm.
And if she can, she'll try and divert round so she doesn't end up cutting onto this road and coming into the procession, but hopefully being able to go around, get in front of them and into the town.
Okay.
She doesn't want to, like, trot up beside the procession and be like, way, hey, like, she can't. If she gets in front of them and they come across her, she can try to play it off as coming down to the town to greet them or something, is what she's thinking of, like, if I can get in front of them, everything's fine.
Okay. Let's have a animal handling ride check from you.
Oh gosh.
In your hungover state, can you manage to maneuver Brightmane? Because as we
Probably not.
know, in A Song of Ice and Fire, alcohol is a poison and has effects. Sorry, Sam, couldn't resist.
It's an 11,
We love
so
you.
probably not.
Okay, I was gonna make this, I should have said difficulty. This is gonna be a challenging test at 9. So you do succeed to maneuver Brightmane. It is not
It's
perhaps
not all Nyla. Some of this is Brightmane just being used to Nyla trying to maneuver her while really hungover.
it is not perhaps the most graceful riding that you have ever done in your life,
Nope.
but
It's
it does the
uncomfortable.
job. You manage to get out in front of the procession. You hear a couple of shouts of people saying "Rider," and pointing you out, but no one comes up to challenge you as you seem to be riding, in the same sort of direction. But they are not that far behind you. You can hear the thunder of the hooves, the creaking of the wheels of the carriage. That's quite close behind you. And as you're running into town, yes, sorry, V.
I'm just wondering, now she's looking, now she's ahead of them. Is there anybody from the household out and about that she can try and pretend that she's with? Like, this is what she's going for, because Mother's definitely sent somebody looking for me seeing this. She's just like, I just want to find somebody who's wearing our colours and make it look like I was meant to be here the whole time.
Well, as luck would have it, you see 3 riders coming in your direction. One of which is wearing full chain in the middle of the day in Dorne.
Only one person it can be. She beelines straight for these riders. And Sagaramon can probably see her coming. Brightmane is a very bright-looking, distinctive horse, too.
Yeah.
She's riding up at you at, like, the fastest trot she can manage without throwing up. Like, pulls up there and is like, good morning.
Lady.
So, if anybody asks from the procession, I have been with you the entire time just having a look around the town. Sister?
Good
And, like,
morning indeed.
Nyla has, like, her hair is now out and it's messy because she's been riding hard to get around the procession. Her knuckles are raw, and she's not usually a brawler. She doesn't fight with her fists. She's a sword fighter, but she's clearly been brawling from, like, the grazes across her wrist. She looks like shit.
Milady, if you would, I suggest we head back to the castle in preparation for the guests.
I think you are right. Elara, how pissed is she?
Well, she's already been making threats on my life with her footwear, so
Ugh.
I'll lean in. You may want to bathe. I can smell fish.
There was a very pretty girl. She happened to live in a fishing village.
Huh?
Yes. I think it was a bit soon to meet her mother and father, but there you go.
Oh, when is the happy day?
On the upside, by the time that I return, Mother will stop making attempts on your life and just straight out and murder me instead.
I'll glance at the banners, that sort of whole situation going on here. Let's just try to get through today in one piece, shall we? Think about tomorrow.
Try.
Tomorrow.
I will try. Whether anybody else gets through the day in one piece, well, I guess it'll depend on whether or not Mother is angry or stressed when we return. She
I
kind of like reaches out over to Alara to give her like a sisterly like pat over on the horse and like, oh, I'm so fucked.
yeah. Yes, you are. Good luck.
Anything to save your skin, sister, of course. Like, she's totally trying to just play this off between them. Like, it's fine. I'll take the blame for this one, I guess. Looks at Sir Garamond a little bit sheepishly.
He's
So,
just
how long did it take you to find me?
I'd say most of the morning, my lady.
3 pillow houses and 1 tavern brawl.
Oh no. Tavern brawl?
You missed all the fun.
What happened?
Fill you in.
When we get to the castle, my lady, I suggest we ride now. Otherwise, that'll
Please
catch
don't
us
tell my
up.
mother where I was. She will kill me.
Where-
Just tell her that you found me in a brothel. At least that sounds reasonable.
We should head back.
Just look at Garamond like, how are you gonna
Is
deal with
Garamond
this?
giving
huh?
her the you know the rule
Love the
look?
silence.
Yeah, he's kind of like, I
I know the
will
rule.
tell your mother that I have found you.
You are a good knight, sir.
Thank you, my lady. However, I really suggest we get back to the castle now. You would have to tidy yourself up.
What is
I
that
hear
on your
that.
neck?
She turns away from Garamond and shows it off. I told you she was very pretty.
Hungry too.
Mm.
Might be part shark.
I wish I could remember more of it, honestly. Just starts like does make sure Garamond does not like pulls the cloak up a little bit so Garamond doesn't see it. But we'll like if we're heading back up that way, we'll fill Elara in on as much as she can remember about the wild night and the pretty fisherman's daughter.
Wyn, is there anything you would like to do as you sit there on the sidelines with your popcorn as this shit show unveils in front of you?
I mean, Nyla would eventually, like, once walking and like round the other side, come and say hello to Wyn. But like, just pulling up the immediate is like, where is Mother? Is she pissed? Where are we going?
I mean, if Garamond will keep trying to encourage them to go a bit quicker because time is very much against us.
If I
Until
ride
the
any quicker,
point-
I'm going to vomit in front of that procession.
As you say.
Are we doing like the equine speed walk where it looks like we're going faster than we really are?
It's like a definite where like Nyla kind of drags behind and then has to speed up, like to try and keep pace.
Ugh. Okay. So you begin to make your way back to Stormwhale Hall. Mia, in the meantime, in your chambers, a raven arrives and pecks at your window.
And what have you for me today? We'll open the window and let it in.
This is clearly a trained raven. It basically holds its leg out for you and stable as you unfurl the tiny paper. There is no seal. There's no marking on it. All you see are 4 words. Beware the puppet master.
As ever, my black friend, you bring interesting news to me. And this raven will know how to get back to whoever has sent it.
Mm-hmm.
So he will take a piece of parchment and just write, "Your obedient servant," full stop, wrap it around the leg, and then send it back.
Okay. And as we follow the raven's black wings across the town, that's why we're going to end our first session. Good job, everybody. We all had tiny little scenes, but this is the first and maybe last time we will have everybody together. Just as an intro, as everybody will be going to the smaller little scenes, little groups that we are more familiar with After the Fire. But I just wanted to get everybody here and everybody vibing for our very first session. But yes, thank you all so much. Thank you everybody for playing with me today, for being such beautiful, terrible people. Except for Tibalto, our working class hero. We stand in solidarity with him. And Wynn, she's all right. The others can get fucked. Already, I hate you all. Love you. But yeah, so let's go round and say who we are, what we do, and where you can find us, and all that good stuff. And then we'll mosey on out for today. James, our Maester Mia,
Right.
this shady,
shady about him?
mysterious Maester.
He's very upfront. He's very truthful
Mm.
to everybody all the time. I don't see what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm James. I'm still reeling from the Jonathan Fry at the barricades Les Miserables references. It's always a joy. I am at Guildenstern on Twitter. You can find me there. I'm at Guildenstern on Twitch. I don't really stream at the moment. It might be a thing that I start doing, but the reason I'm not doing that at the moment is because I'm writing for Black Cats Gaming. I'm one part of the triumvirate / Gestalt entity that is Black Cats Gaming, which is the lovely Susie and the lovely Samantha, and myself. And I'm writing Curse Captures of Cthulhu at the moment, which we're doing very well on. Everything seems to be going really great. Just finished up some of the narrative background, which has been so much fun to write. Lots about pirates, lots about Anne Bonny and Blackbeard and all that kind of great stuff. So I'm having great fun with that. I will be tweeting more, and I will be writing more and doing all sorts of stuff. And looking forward to just being very honest and fun with all of my wonderful friends here. I don't see what the problem is.
Not a problem. Sam, hello. I love Wynn already.
Thank you.
She's very good.
I'm going for big. I don't remember the character's name, but in Bullet Train movie, if anyone saw that, the younger woman in it with like the blunt. No, okay, I'll
Didn't
post a
see it.
photo. It's fine. Yeah, I didn't want to come in first session and be all like, "Ah, look at me in my leather armor, my sneaky shit." So yeah, no, it was a nice little intro.
I
I
like
think.
how you initially pitched her as Nymeria but better, and you have already done Nymeria but better. So thanks.
I could never.
Where can
No,
we
it's
find you? What
awesome.
do you do? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, that's okay. So I am RPG Webby on Twitter, and I am another part of the brain cell known as Black Cats Gaming. We're here live on Twitch about every Thursday now when we're doing this. And I'm trying to put together more shows as well. Got a little bit of Star Trek in the works. We'll bring the spy game back at some point. So that should all be super fun when we get that going. But yeah, otherwise, in the meantime, you can follow me and my selfies on Twitter and Instagram now, actually. I have that. That's a thing. Yeah.
Hey, she's on the gram. Follow her. Good selfies. Millie. Hello.
Hi.
Oh,
Hello.
thank you for being the person to receive the brunt of my angry mum energy today, apparently. But just shouting Alara was like, it's very like satisfying.
Satisfying,
It's a
right?
good name to shout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely didn't have that in mind when I chose the name. Kind of figured she might be in trouble a lot. I'm using her basically as a vehicle to get over my first childness.
Mm.
Is it working?
Mm.
Just so sweet and innocent.
Yeah.
I kind of figured after playing such a safe politician the last game, I just wanted to cause some chaos for a change. Can't believe I got the whip out the first session though. That was
know.
fun. I like the whip. I'm really glad we went with that.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Although, if that's how she acts when someone calls her a bad name, good lord. I mean, they say that they're passionate down in Dorne, but yikes.
I've got to stand up for myself. Got to stand up for my family name.
Yeah,
They
sure.
started it. I just finished it.
I'm sure it'll play really well with the
Yeah.
people whose land you have occupied. Don't worry about it. It'll be great.
It'll all be fine.
Yeah.
They love me. Some of them love me. We'll just make the ones that love me fight the ones that don't, and whoever wins, wins. It's fine.
Yeah. So it's a plan. But who are you? What do you do?
Who am I? That's a really good question. I'm Amelia Tyler. I'm a voice actor for video games. So you might have heard me as Malady in Divinity Original Sin 2 and Nyrissa and Wendoag in the Pathfinder games and a whole bunch of other crazy shit. Can't talk about some of it yet, but maybe soon. And you may have gathered from the new camera, I am hoping to stream soon. But I've said that before, and let's be honest, none of us trust me by this point, so we'll see what happens. But until then, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm Amelia Tyler, because that's how names work, and I'll tweet about stuff when stuff happens.
Excellent. Good tweets when they happen. Good tweets. 10 out of 10. No notes. Don, hello. Hi. I love Tibalto so much.
Hello. Yeah, it was really fun being back and playing a new character, which I haven't done in a while. And I don't, so I'm Donathan Fry. You can follow me if you want at Donathan Fry on Twitter. Sometimes I tweet, not as well as others, but I am there. And I run a lot of games, but I don't get to play a lot of games. I really love playing games when I have the time, and I always have time for Westeros and for these people. I was really excited about this campaign. I'm glad that we're back, and I love everybody's characters. I didn't know what to expect from anybody's characters, really. And they're all a lot of fun. It has a very different feeling from After the Fire. I'm very excited to see. I know everybody's got secrets, and I know everybody's, got schemes, and the Martells are already here. So I'm just excited. So thanks for having me back.
Yeah, thanks for playing. Tom. Hello,
Hey.
my friend. Garament. Do
Hi.
you know what? You didn't have to worry about your northerner voice. It's pretty good.
I've lost it a good few times. It suddenly kind of goes into Scottish, and then it goes
It's
a bit like
fine.
that.
Tom,
Yeah.
we were all doing Dornish
Yeah,
accents today, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I very rarely worry about my accent. I just do it, and then to hell with what it sounds like, really.
was good.
In here, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Nowhere else.
That's
does
only
it
the one that
sound
matters,
good.
Tom.
That's it. I love it. It was great. It was so much. I'm just so happy to be back doing this. It felt like, Thursdays felt weird not having a game in, or at least a game to watch or something. It felt really strange. So it's good to be back to it. And yeah, I'm quite happy the way Garamond's going at the moment. It's all right. And the fact that I got into a fight straight away in the thing, I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought I'd at least have one episode, but evidently not. But I suppose when you're around this family,
No, that was Susie. You saw me nearly walk away, and she was
I
like,
mean-
button though.
she's gonna dangle red buttons all the way through this season.
I am going to mash all of them with my big meat
It's
fists.
just every button.
Just keep the sword out. constantly.
Okay. But yeah, it was great. Great. I loved it. I cannot wait for the next episode. I cannot wait. And Don is absolutely right. It is a different feel from After the Fire, and I like that because it is different. And I'm glad that it feels that different. You know, we didn't want to just do the exact same thing, so that's
I
fantastic.
couldn't anyway. Like, Sam couldn't
What?
copy. I mean, damn.
Well, yeah. Well, different GMs, different styles, and all
Exactly.
that, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
great.
Yeah.
Don's
Um,
character is still obsessed with apples, though. which
Yeah, I
find
noticed
really
that.
funny.
Yeah, you do like apples, Don, don't you?
That was I did not plan for that. I just thought, what would a horse eat? And
An apple.
Like,
So
where
I'll
the
take them
apples?
all.
And I was
It
like,
gets
It
mine,
just
bro.
keeps coming out, Don, with all the apples.
not again. I can't do this twice. But Tom, who are you,
Yes.
and where can we find you on the internet?
I
And
am
what do you
Tom,
do?
and you can find me Hotflakes Tom on Twitter. I don't really stream that much anymore. Occasionally, recently, I've been doing a lot more chill Sunday streams where I've got nothing to do and I just decide to play something where it's just me and it's really relaxing and you just chill and chat and stuff, which is quite nice. So you can check me out there if on my Twitch page if you want. Alternatively, I'm in the Black Cats Discord or on Twitter, so you can always get hold of me that way. But yeah, that's it. Apart from that, you'll either see me here again, or maybe on Susie's stream occasionally if we ever play like a multiplayer on stream again.
No,
Yeah.
never again. Never
Never
again.
again.
Phasmo.
In that case, just here.
We do need to get back to Phasmo. Side
We
note.
do. New update. New
Mhm,
update.
mhm.
Yeah, they condense the asylum into different, so like 3 or 4 different maps. So instead of that one big one, it's
Mhm.
like
That's
yeah,
very
Yeah,
cool.
this is
like
a
that.
Phasmo stream now. Everybody go away. Thanks.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
We're there
that's
now.
it. My computer now actually works, so I can actually Phasmo with you guys rather
There
than
you go.
like watching my character go. Like,
But speaking of the Phasmo crew, and someone who has not yet felt the wrath of Lady Soraya Kavos, V, hello.
Hello. I just want to say, Susie, thank
Yeah.
you so much for giving Nyla the dream entrance that I could only wish for. Because it was so on brand as to how I had described her to you, which was just really, really gay, trying, but absolutely terrible at everything. That was amazing. I also love the fact that while Millie and I haven't had a big chance, like behind the scenes, to chat about the sisterly relationship, they are very clearly cut from the same cloth. Like, they have exactly the same energy. And I'm so here for it. And poor Sir Garamond. I'm sorry, Tom.
I'm not.
I knew what I signed up for.
There's gonna be
I
like no
entirely
murders.
support-
It'll be just the Garamond and the mum dying of stress.
Yeah. I entirely support Alara kicking the shit out of that dude, because Nyla would have done exactly the same. Dude would have lost a tongue for that, but this was
Yeah.
awesome. Sorry I was a bit late, but this was so much fun, and I want to second that. Yeah, this feels really different from ATF. We're all more stabby, I feel like most of us
But
are
that's
playing very
Dawn, though,
stabby
right?
characters. Um,
Like, can you imagine taking one of our characters from After the Fire and putting them in this campaign, and they'd
They'd
be
be
like,
dead.
"Oh shit,
dead in 5
Like,
minutes.
that's Dawn."
Enzo would love it.
But no, this is great, and I can't wait to see how much trouble Nyla is about to be in. Hopefully the stress of the Martells showing up will just make it like a future Nyla problem, and then we can just skirt around that later. But I know you're not going to let me get away with that, Susie, so
You know when little kids like stress out their parents in like public and they're like, just you wait when you get home. Just wait till you get home. That's what's gonna happen. In the Martell shop, just you wait till they've gone.
as soon as they've gone. Funny enough, when that happens, Nyla's going to disappear with Brightmane again.
Oh, weird.
Can't be in trouble if I'm not in the house.
Good lord.
Um,
Where can we find you, V?
You can find me on Twitter at Tabletop Horde. You can find me on Twitch there as well, but I haven't streamed in forever because I've been super busy with work and life things. But if I ever get back to having time to stream again, that's where it'll be. And if we ever do a Phasmo stream that isn't on a Tuesday, let me come play Phasmo with you. I haven't played in so long. But otherwise, I'm about doing stuff, and sometimes I tweet about it. So there's that.
Awesome. Thank you very much. As for me, I am Susie. I love this session. I love everybody's characters and getting to know them. Sort of like that sort of foundation, little intro to everybody. As I said, from next week onwards, we'll be doing smaller streams, so smaller number of folks, so we can really have some good, juicy, longer scenes with each character. But I am very much looking forward to the absolute shenanigans that these folks are going to give us, because good Lord. Yes, sir?
I have one last little shout out I want to do
Oh,
quickly.
yeah, yeah.
I've had an idea, right? So with a new game,
Mm-hmm.
we obviously need a new emote, right?
True.
I feel like Juicy Fruits going to stay with the channel. That's what we're all about.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Greenmont shield can change, right? So, chat, head over to the Discord, because I'm going to put up like a little vote there, I think, in the new channel for this game about what we should do. And I've already got a couple of ideas we could throw about. I need to also hear from, because I don't think I was there for that session 0 or session like 0.5 or whatever, about the house shield. So I need that so I can do a quick version for us, right?
Yep. So yes, please do head over to the Discord. That is also the #1 place where you can find out about everything that we're working on with Black Cats. You can chat with folks about Spy Game, Cursed Captains of Cthulhu, our streams. So whether that's After the Fire, if you're catching up with those old episodes, which are all on YouTube, by the way, and they're really good and you should watch them. Or this stream, or any future stream when we're getting a little bit trekky up in here. That's the #1 place to chat to them. You can also catch us on Twitter at Follow Black Cats on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Good Lord, I've not done this in so long. My brain has melted. As well as we are also on Facebook. If you are one of those people that's still stuck on that hell site, we're on there too. But for me, I'm Susie. You can find me literally everywhere at Susanna Grace, and that's Susanna with 1 N. Although right now I am Nosfera Susanna Grace on Twitter right now, so don't be surprised if you see that. I am a streamer, I'm an artist, I am a gajillion other things, but I stream Cowboy Dollies on my stream, which is Red Dead Redemption 2 roleplay, and I also do a bunch of illustration, a lot of stuff that isn't out yet and I can't talk about yet, but other stuff coming up, Cursed Captains and other things. So when I can talk about them, I'll scream about them. Find my stuff on there. We did Discord, YouTube, socials. We got it, right?
Yeah,
We're
good.
good. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, folks. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.